But
I will say, if anything, this is like kind of a good example of why, or of like how to play defense when you're kind of like in a poor position, right? So the enemy team, if they want to push out, their first goal is to fight in a way that could like cap the zone before you either win or lose, right? That way, if you do lose, you don't get punished even harder because now they don't have a penalty, right?
mm-hmm.
So based on this again, this is a really scuffed view, but this is kind of how I see it. Um, Sayo is two down. So as a result, they play a lot safer. They let them push in, but at the same time, as Tempest is trying to push in, you see Zero push around the side,
Mm-hmm.
outside of the zone. So if they want to deal with Zero, they have to turn their attention away from the objective, basically. And that even though they're like two down, it sets some sort of an opening for them to fight without risking losing the zone at the same time. And I
Right.
think it's especially important on a map like this where it's like impossible to cap the zone for some reason because of the giant pillar in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Because if Zero isn't here, if Zero just jumps out of this position, they are able to cap the zone and then be like on the enemy plat
Mm-hmm.
or threatening it at any rate. Whereas since they have to back up to take Zero out, by the time they turn back around, Leafy is already on the zone.
Right. And even if he didn't jump out, let's say he just wanted to like retreat or take a fight on the zone, they take the fight on the zone, get a kill, and paint the zone at the same time. Or Zero retreats to the left, and they have right side free to paint, and they can still fight him on the left side over the zone. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And with Q in position for Leafy to jump into, Leafy's able to just trade this back, even though Leafy was the first down. And you see Q coming in from the backside to help with that fight just in case. So that's just good team play there. They're calling it out. So like we can see on the bottom of our screen here, Q coming in to get that flick just in case. So good stuff. They isolate this player here who drops down. But I noticed they're doing the same thing. They're trying to draw all of the aggro away from the zone to potentially enable their teammates on plat to get forward. It's sort of like you're making yourself a less valuable target to fight by retreating that way.
Exactly. Yeah. This is something I've just been kind of like repeating a lot more recently, but trading is never, I would never say never, but it's very often not an actual like one-to-one trade. Typically, the team who needs to like push out and take control, if they trade, they're at the disadvantage. Like they lost that fight basically, right? So if you're in a position where you're defending and you push out in the middle of nowhere, not only are you trading, or let's say you trade as well, not only are you taking the value by trading because you're the defending team, you can just jump back in, but you're also taking any value that they could have had potentially by trading on the zone away from the zone, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. The way I've always put it is that trading reinforces the status quo. So whoever is in control when the trade happens,
Yeah, that's a
they
good way.
maintain
Yep.
control.
It's a really good way to put that.